Me? You go. G'day, Willie. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks. How are you, Damien?
Yeah, good, Damien Hale and Willie
Zwar. Zwar's the pronunciation.
Zwar
Yep.
is the proper pronunciation. Melbourne grammar boy.
And you're joining us, if you're listening and following on the stream, here at Gardens Oval for AFLNT's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season. It's a round 5 clash today between the Tiwi Bombers and Waratah Warriors, who will be playing for the Morris Rioli Cup today. Obviously, big part of Tiwi Islands and football culture over there, and played and coached for Waratah in their NTFL many years ago.
Yeah, just had a great little ceremony there before the game, Will, and smoking ceremony and a welcome to country by Richie Fije, welcoming the Tiwi Bombers here, having a home game, a rare home game in Darwin. So hopefully we get a crowd down here, mate, and get behind the Bombers. I noticed, I went in the rooms, I snuck in and did a little bit of research, and I noticed they've got a few big bodies that they've recruited in from Brisbane, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. I've watched both these teams last week, called the games, and from what I saw, Waratah definitely looked much more impressive. So, as you said, the inclusion of a few bigger bodies for Tiwi will definitely help them out today. Still think Waratah's looking quite strong so far to start this year, and obviously Tiwi yet to win, but we'll see how we go. Any other predictions from your end?
Oh, well, look, I've watched the Bombers a couple of times, and other than the game against St Mary's where they got blown away early, and Saints can do that to you, they had a bad loss there. And it looked like they'd given up a bit to me. I just didn't think they fought that one out. But in the other games, they were in it up to three-quarter time against Palmerston. They came from behind to get within 3 goals of Darwin, I think, in round 1. So, they were competitive against Southern District's last outing. So, up until probably halfway through the second quarter, or third quarter. So, I think that they're not that far away from a win. I don't know whether they'll get it today, but it'll be interesting to see how they go with the bigger bodies in there, because that's certainly what they've been lacking is, wins at stoppages. Yeah,
absolutely. You're right in terms of sticking with other teams, and it was just that one big blowout, and even last week I think it was 9 goals to zip in that third quarter. Apart from that, it was relatively even game. If you take that third quarter out, District still probably would have won by 3 or 4 goals. But yeah, their first win hopefully is not too far away. I'm not sure if it'll come today, but I think they'll be a lot more competitive, and obviously playing for a special reason, a special trophy, so plenty to fight for today.
Well, obviously, yeah, the Morris Rioli Cup, I think Waratahs have won it the last 3 times, so be important to the Tiwis. Morris, obviously, an icon of territory football, and a fantastic footballer and a great guy, and we lost him way too young a few years ago. But hopefully they play with the spirit that Morris used to play the game, and they should be fine. But as I said, I don't know whether they'll win today, but what I'll be looking at, Will, is more so around the stoppages, because it's hard enough to win a game of footy when it's 50-50, and the Tiwi in the past have been able to win games without having a genuine ruckman. But when you're getting beaten, 70-30, 80-20 at stoppages, it's just near impossible. And I think, St Mary's highlighted that a couple of weeks ago against them, where, they just dominated the set pieces and dominated the restarts, and the Tiwis just need to compete better. They need to get in there and compete hard today.
Absolutely. Still waiting for game to get underway. Teams have their final messaging just getting into position now. The field umpires today, we've got young Emma Stark, who's been fantastic the past 2 weeks. She's umpired in the Premier League. We've also got Daniel Lancaster and Joel Morrison, along with Dean Williams today. So very formidable umpiring squad today. I'm sure we'll see some great outcomes on the field from their end.
Yeah, the umpiring's been great this year, and also a big shout out to Mark Noonan, who later on tonight, the Buffaloes Nightcliff game, will umpire his 300th game, and Noons is part of the furniture, isn't he? He's part of
absolutely.
He's part of the stock take at TIO each year when the auditors come through. He's got a line item in the budget for poor old Mark Noonan.
And I didn't realise this until I saw it. I think it was yesterday. It's 300 Premier League games. He's done something like 527. I don't know if that's the exact number, but total games in the NTFL. So
yeah, he still reckons that everyone turns up to watch him.
Yeah.
Like, I sent him a message. I rang him and he didn't answer. He doesn't take my calls very often anymore, but he used to. A bit like a few people, but I left a message and just said, look, let Nightcliff and Buffs play today. It's not all about you, Noons, but it is all about Noons. 300 games, well done.
Oh, as you said, plenty of people would have seen, plenty of his games without even realising it, and yeah, definitely part of the furniture. As we look set to get underway here at Gardens Oval, be Wilkins in the ruck for Waratah against Auburn for Tiwi. Let's see how we go. Umpire balls up and Wilkins gets it out first. Turnbull grabs the ball, but he's tackled to the ground, and we'll have another ball up to start the game. Auburn managed to get that one out. No clean possession yet. Umpire has called a throw, and it'll go the way of Tiwi.
It's Dion, is it?
I don't know if it is. It might be. He's changed his boots this week, I think. Kicks it forward to Harley Puruntatameri. The ball rolls over the boundary line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting already. Tiwis have got that first centre clearance, so positive signs going forward. But probably about a 2 or 3 goal breeze to the right of the screen. Waratah's using the breeze in the first quarter.
And umpire's pulled another free kick out, this time to the ruckman in Auburn. Played a great game in Div 2 for Banks last week alongside myself. I didn't play the best game, but he's obviously done enough to get the call up to Tiwi, so doing very well. As Collis comes out of the back line for Waratah, kicks it to his brother. It's Dylan to William. William goes inboard now to Crocker as they work it outside the back 50. I think it's Gooch now with the ball, looking to move it quickly. Finds Collis in the middle, goes to play on, hands it forward, and he's run down. That was a great tackle. Yeah,
great tackle there. And you just got to watch those Collis boys coming out of the back half. They use the ball very well, and the Tiwi forwards need to apply a little bit more pressure, especially when Waratahs get that ball in their back half.
It's a big part of modern day footy is making sure you're defensive in your forward line as well, and they got out a bit too easy there, but Tiwi will have another opportunity here through McAdam. Can't quite decide on anything, so we go back to Munkara, and it is Munkara. Rolling with the pink boots the first couple of weeks, he's now got the black boots on. Not a great kick though. It's Collis again out of the back line, looking towards McGrath, but the boundary line will beat him.
Yeah, a couple of forays forward already from the Tiwis, and just a bit of poor disposal. It was firstly Auburn, and then that was a poor kick into the forward line. So just got to tidy up the kick across the stripe, the Bombers.
In the ruck now, Wilkins gets it out. Co-captain Robbie Turnbull tackled to the ground. We'll have another ball up. Puruntatameri grabs it out, goes to Puruntatameri Dunn. He kicks it into the forward line. That's a better kick, but doesn't quite get it. And it's Katanak. Called play on. Ball now into the middle of the ground. Brodie Carroll trying to work it. Can't take possession. Hands it out to Collis. He hands it back now. The player runs into trouble. And Tiwi's away, courtesy of Shane Austral. He kicks it forward into space. Forward is tackled. Gooch hands it back now. We've got Waratah coming out of half back. He finds Brodie Carroll on that far wing. Goes inboard to Collis. Works it forward. And he finds Jaden McGrath too far out to score. But they're in a good position. Wasn't a great kick though. Austral competed. Waratah will have another opportunity. No, Tiwi. Flick it out. Goes from Ross. Sorry, that's Max Lowe to Jackson Fisher, 2 new boys. And now an opportunity for Waratah on the forward line. But they can't take clean possession. Very scrappy game in the past minute or so, Haley.
Yeah. Certainly it's like the ball's got spiders on it, Will. Yep. No one wants to pick it up.
And Waratah now working it from their half back line. But it's Cecil Puruntatameri who's working it forward, taps it onto himself, gets the boundary line, which isn't the worst option there, and they will have another opportunity. And so far, somewhat surprisingly, it's been Tiwi who've been working the ball forward best. Yeah,
Waratah's had a heap of numbers down at their centre forward position, just couldn't get hold of the footy. The Tiwi midfielders are walking back through the middle. It'll be interesting to see how you know, some of the guys that they've brought in, O'Dwyer and these guys, Crocker, you know, you know, how these blokes from down south that have come into the team, Jackson, Fisher, how they're going to go with the heat. It's a tough time to play, 2 o'clock.
And that's a mark in that back line there from Cadillac. He plays on, goes across to Collis, and he kicks out to the running man there. Is it Nick Gooch? He works it forward, can't find Graham, and another turnover as it's Tiwi with the opportunity, and he finds a man up forward. And it's Harley Purun-Tatameri, who looks like he'll have the first shot on goal today. And a big week already for this man, Haley.
Yes, I heard that Harley celebrated the birth of his first child. So congratulations to Harley and his partner, and another Purun-Tatameri on the island. We've got a few playing today.
And he plays on. It's not a bad kick, but it just fades to the left-hand side. And it's our first score for the day, Tiwi Bombers. 0 goals, 1 plays Waratah, yet to score.
Yeah, it was just that turnover from Gooch. He did the right thing. He did well. He pushed up hard, and just the execution was poor, and gave Tiwi an opportunity to have a shot on goal.
Saltula Markia there, kicks it out to Keranoa. He's running down the wing, got room to move. And looks like McGrath's almost let it slip through. Not quite a Falcon, but he couldn't quite. Very close, and it's bounced off. I don't know if it's his forearm or his chest over the boundary line, so we'll have a ball up about 80 metres out from the Waratah goals.
Tiwi are competing a lot better than they have in the last couple of games that I've seen them, Will, so, which is a good sign, because it is probably a 2 to 3 goal breeze to the right of screen, and already, you know, 6 minutes gone in the game, and Waratahs haven't scored a goal, so that's good signs for the Bombers.
Umpire starts with the throw-in. It was Graham out of the ruck there for Waratah. But Tiwi work it forward courtesy of McCarthy. The bouncing ball. Kiranoa managed to pick it up. He's in space again. And he kicks it across the ground to Spence. He takes the mark and plays on. And he finds his man about 40, just inside, or he'd be outside 50 if he lines up for it.
Well, he's turned his back to the play, so he's told his teammates, don't worry about it, I'll jail this myself.
It's Corey Rich, who had a bit of a slow start last week, but definitely got on his bike when he got moving and got up forward later in the day. So let's see if that's the trick, if he's more suited to the forward line this year. Wasn't a big kick, almost turned into a barrel in the end. Gets it to the top of the square. Maybe the pressure will do the work for the Tars.
Did you say he was a defender?
He played wing last week for the first half, and then they moved him up forward.
Oh, right.
Works out to Cecil Purun-Tatameri. Certainly wasn't a forwards kick then, was it, from Rich?
Nah.
Good strong mark from McAdam there.
In cricket terms, it would have been the googly.
Absolutely.
Turnover.
And Kirano again, who's been busy this past minute and a half. Goes to his captain in Carroll. It's a good kick forward. Couldn't quite find his co-captain in Turnbull. But Waratah again have space. Carroll will have another go. Gets it out to Turnbull. Have to move quick. Gets it to Magro. He's been a very good import for him this year from the Waffle.
Yeah, he has been a very good player.
He just got pinged there for holding the ball.
He's kicked a few goals too, hasn't he? He's been a live wire up forward, and then he goes in on the ball. But, you know, David Cruz will bring this one out of defence.
I think he kicked 5 goals in that season opener here against Palmerston. Magro did. I think he's been a bit quieter in front of goals since, but still very, very dangerous.
Uh-oh. Jeez.
Waratah will have another go, and McGrath goes towards goal. Maybe a bit hungry there. Just faded to the near-hand side.
Probably could have, there was a few options inside there, and probably better off playing the percentages. And, poor kick in. It's given him a chance.
Turnbull over the top. And Corey Rich. Oh! Again, he's missed this time from in the goal square. It's touched through.
Are you sure he's a forward, Will?
He moved up forward last week. I think he kicked a few behind, so maybe it's not his...
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt at the moment.
Ryan Ayres will give another 10 minutes left of this quarter or so to see how he fits in. I think he might be moving back to the wing after quarter time. It's Purun Tatameri now in the back pocket for Tiwi. Tries to dance around his man. And good offensive pressure there from Rich, so a few not so good things and a very good thing there. He will give Waratah another opportunity to try and get the first goal of the game today. We're still waiting, aren't we, Haley?
Yeah, we are, and it's good to see the Rich there and any of the forwards out there that are watching the game, and having that ability to stop the play like that and do a smother just builds confidence within the team when your forwards are working like that.
We've just had a Tiwi player ping trying to get it out of half back, and it'll be Magro, who believes an East Perth boy for the Royals down there in Waffle. And he's come up for the top end wet to try his trade up here.
He's got a wild old mullet, hasn't he?
Yeah,
it's a ripper.
A few sleeve tattoos as well.
He loves celebrating a goal.
Yep. Let's see if he can...
He'll put this one straight through the middle is my tip.
See what he can do for you, Haley.
Boom.
He likes it.
Yeah, he likes it.
And that's our first goal of the game through Jaden Magro.
Took 11, nearly 12 minutes.
And Waratah move, I think it's 1-2, 8 against Tiwi, 1-1, 7.
Yeah, just got the pressure there and field positions, everything at times. And when it's a scrappy game, just get it forward. And that's what Waratahs did. They got it down into their forward 50 and put the pressure on. And Magro came up with a good tackle, forced the dropping the ball decision, and went back and kicked the goal. So well done to Magro.
It has been an impressive start from Tiwi, but what you do fear is that they don't sort of get ahead of themselves and go unrewarded for their efforts. They would like to get a goal on the board, that's for sure. As it was Wilkins again out of the ruck for Waratah, but it now comes back and it's Dunn working it forward, gets it to Purun Tatameri Dunn. Kicks it out wide to Cecil Purun Tatameri. A few Purun Tatameris today, so we'll do our best to let you know who's got it at any given time. But here's Cecil. Kicks it inside 50. No one can quite take the mark. Tiwi trying to work it forward. Oh, big strong tackle there from O'Dwyer.
Yeah, I think Waratahs will be pretty happy if Tiwi's going to put the ball in like that all day. Just it doesn't really give... The Tiwi's go is not that long kick to the contest. I think the quick ball movement to a leading forward would be a better option for the Tiwis, but they've got a free kick here. But yeah, I don't think Waratahs would be too upset seeing them bombing the ball in like that when they've got the big boys down back.
No, they've had a few opportunities so far and they haven't really hit their targets up forward, so we'll need to work on that. It can't just be done with their efforts inside the middle. As Waratah have worked it forward very quickly from a sloppy kick at goal, and it's Rich again, this time tackled from Dion Munkara. Waratah forward, kicks it inside 50. Collis couldn't take the mark, but he'll get the hands, gets it to Carroll. He goes out to Magro again. Can he get his second? Goes back to Collis, throws it on the left. Just puts a bit too much on it, it's out on the full.
It was almost like they had so many options to kick the goal then that they butchered it.
Someone just needed to take control and just have a shot, but unfortunately they went probably one man too long. Comes out now to McCarthy in the back line for Tiwi. There's a PE teacher over on the islands, I believe, at the local primary school.
Yep.
And Cruz gets the ball. McAdam tries to work it forward, but umpire says the Waratah player's arms were chopped.
It was probably there. But you sometimes think, wow, just let the game go. Two big men going for it.
Wasn't a good kick from Wilkins as Munkara now works it out of half back for Tiwi. Purun Tatameri Dunn runs onto it, gets it inside. But Waratah have the numbers. It's Crocker, gets it out now to Goulden. He goes forward to Carroll, who plays on. Goes outside to Ross. He looks inside, finds his man, no. Good defensive efforts from Tiwi there. Mopping up the crumbs. Working it back. Cruz tries to hack it out of mid-air. Don't know about that.
He gave away the free kick.
Just needed to keep a bit of a cool head there, the Tiwi boys, but they couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, Ross just running off half back there. I looked over and one of the Tiwi players, hands on hips, back on the half forward flank. They're going to have to go with these Tars backline. I've watched the Tars a few times and they will run out of the backline. They're not overly quick, but they're willing to spread and they're willing to run. And the Tiwi guys just can't let them go and let them link up like that. And like Ross did there with the delivery into the forward line. And the half-forward flankers just have to be prepared to work both ways, and somebody's given away a 50-metre free kick.
No, I'm not sure what that one was for, unfortunately, but it's a certain goal and he's kicked it through.
Yeah, just those defensive things, Will, with the Bombers, the half-forwards just needing to work both ways. We know that Tiwis will go very well when they've got the ball in hand and are dangerous, but what are you doing to negate the opposition when you haven't got the ball? And simply running with a player doesn't take a lot of ability. It just takes a bit of effort. And they need to tidy up on that because Ross certainly, and now he's jogged back down. Not sure which one he's manning up on, but, he certainly came off that half-back flank and no one went with him.
That second goal from Waratah came through Harrison Kitschke. They moved to 2 goals, 3-15. Tiwi with one behind. Had a few more opportunities than that and probably should have more on the board, but they've only got themselves to blame at this stage. We'll have a ball up in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, they wouldn't be happy with their return so far, Waratahs, I wouldn't think.
No, not at all. Graham gets the tap and he earns a free kick for being held. Gives it off to Turnbull. He's been in decent form this year, had a breakout year in his first season up north last year. He's plied his trade over for Cairns City Lions, where he won a premiership in our dry season, our footy off season. Waratah worked it forward and have another shot on goal. That was too easy there, Haley.
Yeah, that was better. It was more clinical there from Waratahs, and certainly Will better execution. But 2 free kicks and the 8 there in what's his name, Oban, gave away the first free kick and then gave away a downfield. So it's a double negative, and Waratahs will kick their neck. No, he's missed it. So
it's not a great kick from McGrath. It was very high. I think the wind just took hold of it there.
Yeah, they've got a zone set here, Tars, so we'll see how they go getting the ball back in here, the Bombers.
Blake Erickson runs it out of the goal square. Finds Purun Tadameri done. No, he doesn't. Turnbull now with the ball. Gets it to Crocker. He goes to the centre of the ground. Dangerous kick. And Tiwi have an opportunity. They can't make the most of it, though. Now comes out to Ross. He finds Crocker. He's been lively early. Goes to the captain in Turnbull. He's been very good so far today. Gets it to Kieran Noah. Too far out to score, but he's got room to move. No, he doesn't. He dances around. Yeah. He's tackled over the boundary line from Jackson Fisher.
Yeah, good tackle from Fisher. Tiwis did well there to shut that down. Waratahs look dangerous.
Fisher goes inboard. Oh, finds Brodie Carroll on the chest, 50 metres out, and he goes to Magro.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous kick there from Fisher.
That's an absolute coach killer. You wouldn't be happy with that, would you, Haley?
Nah, not really. If you kicking to that area is dangerous. If he had gone a little bit back, if they were going to look for a switch, maybe back in the back into their back line a bit deeper, or a short 45, lower your eyes to a 45. So if you had have turned it over, it'll be more out on the wing. But a kick into that area there and hanging it up like he did, you will hit the nail on the head, Will. It's a coach killer.
And they've made them pay. Jade Magro. Good celebration there as he sends it through the middle for his second goal of the game.
He'll go up onto the ball, but Magro's the sort of player that when he gets his tail up, he's very hard to stop. And what you'll find with Waratahs is when he's on, they will play him deep, one-on-one. And he's a nightmare for any defender in the competition. But he's only a little bloke, but he plays tall. He can take a mark, and he's a beautiful shot on goal. But he's gone back into the middle. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's on for Waratahs to play him more in the forward line as the game gets going. And if he's certainly got the kicking boots on, they'll leave him up there.
Oborn on Wilkins in the ruck. Wilkins again gets it, but Harley Purun Tadameri gets the kick out.
That's better.
He finds Douglas Cunningham. who hands it off. And it's a kick inside 50 for Tiwi. Puruntatamiri done flew but couldn't take the mark. Hands over now to Lower. He has a shot on goal. But doesn't quite have his accurate boots on at the moment. And it goes through from behind. Yeah. Still looking for their first goal of the game as it comes to Saltalamaki here in the back line for Waratah.
Yeah, a bit better ball movement that time, Will, from the Bombers. But I'd still love to see them hit that lead. It was almost like Harley was willing the forward to come at him, and they were both running away from him and, you know, looking for the one over the back when it had to be the hard lead forward there so that Harley had somebody to hit up and then the wheel and go to the back bloke, but to the guy out the back, but it didn't happen.
Puruntatamiri gets the ball and throws it on the boot. It's a barrel forward, but Tars have an extra number back. Couldn't take the mark. Puruntatamiri done, tries to scoop it up, but it comes to Tars. And umpire's calling a free kick in the back line for Waratah. We edge to just over 21 minutes in this first quarter, and it's Waratah with the lead. 3 goals, 3-21, playing Tiwi 2 in this Morris Rioli Cup, the round 5 action. The 2021-22 TIO NTFL season here at Gardens Oval. And it's been Waratah, it was Tiwi early, and Waratah have sort of made them pay. And again, Tiwi just not taking their opportunities as they move to 3 behinds, but they still trail by 3 straight goals.
They'd want to be, if they could pinch a goal here, it wouldn't be a bad quarter work by the Bombers if they can get one.
No, and I think definitely that first sort of 10 minutes of footy, they probably deserve something. They'd want to get a reward for their efforts early. Still yet to find a win, and not a lot to cheer about so far in season 21-22. Waratah now just back on the far wing. Ball forward, looks for Wilkins, goes over the top. Carroll will be first to it, running onto goal, but the siren will beat him. And so quarter time here at Gardens Oval, it's Tiwi Bombers 0 goals, 3 trailing Waratah 3 goals, 3, 21 and 18-point margin. We'll see you after this short break. Welcome back to Gardens Oval. You're watching AFL&T's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season. It's our round 5 clash here between the Tiwi Bombers and Waratah Warriors. And it's Waratah who lead after the first quarter, 3 goals, 5-23. We've had a correction on the scoreboard there to Tiwi, who are on 3 behind, so it's a 20-point margin. What are your thoughts on the game so far today, Damien Hale?
Well, they're competing better, the Bombers, and that's what we spoke about earlier in the call. Just getting them to get in there and fight for the football. So there was a bit of a breeze, so it'll be interesting to see what that breeze is worth, because I sort of picked it as probably a 2-goal breeze to the right of screen. They didn't get any reward for their effort, the Bombers, but all in all, it was a much better, it was a good quarter in the fact that they did get in and compete, and they tackled quite well. There's a couple of silly free kicks that you don't like to see, and a couple of bad turnovers cost them. Waratahs were pretty good also. Once they settled, they moved the ball pretty well, and getting it into the hands of their good players like Magro and the Collis boys. So, yeah, pretty even game still.
The umpire restarts playing. It's Wilkins with the first tap for Waratah. Can't get a clean possession. We'll have another ball up. And Tiwi have seemed much better in the middle of the ground this week at these centre clearances, but it's just around the ground, particularly moving forward. They haven't been clean, and when Waratah's coming out of their back line, they haven't applied enough pressure. And that's what the biggest point of the game for me has been so far, is here comes Crocker looking to work it forward for Waratah. Finds his man in Collis. He's got Cadillac out wide, and he'll look to him. It's too far out to score, Cadillac. Not a great kick to Magro on the lead. He'll get it back though. Throws it on the boot. And unfortunately just goes back to Munkara, who plays on for Tiwi. Kicks it forward. Player couldn't take the mark. An arm wrestle here to get possession. Collis in there trying to get it. Is it Cunningham there? Works it forward. Purantatameri Dunn throws on the boot, but only as far as Turnbull. And he's run down by Harley Purantatameri. Got the kick away, only as far as Kieran Noah. Brody Carroll there to be mopped up for Waratah. And it's Stevens who kicks forward and finds Carroll. Doesn't take the shot. He finds a free man in the forward pocket for Waratah. Brody Carroll has been on fire the past couple of weeks. 3 goals in round 3 against Southern Districts.
Yeah, he's a good player, Carroll.
I had him as best on last week as well. So
yeah, he goes about it pretty well. He's nearly going to turn his back and walk back. I can't stand seeing that from forwards. But he did turn around. He lifted his head up and he saw a teammate in the pocket.
Unfortunately, he's missed it. Can't quite tell who that player was on the far side just yet. Tiwi will be kicking out from fullback now to reset play and try and get it forward for the first time in this quarter. Ross hit the pack hard. Couldn't take the mark. Ball now with Fisher. He works it forward. Cunningham again, trying to get his hands on it.
Fisher's done some good things already in this game, and just the value of one grabbing there, just going through the pack. He only had eyes. There was plenty of traffic, but he didn't fumble. He just took possession of the footy, and then that's what the Tiwi need. They need those sort of players that will go and get the ball and not tap it. Fisher's been okay.
Umpire resets. Wilkins, third man up, taps it forward. Doesn't get it cleanly. Waratah look like they could be the winners here, but still no clean possession. As you said in that first quarter, it's almost like the ball's made of spiders. No one really wants to take it cleanly.
Yeah, a lot of tapping.
Oborn got that one out. Cunningham throws on the boot, hacks it forward. Errant handball. Turnbull now mopping up. In fact, it was Stevens. And he finds Cadillac at half back. Now goes to Turnbull. Goes across the ground to Collis. Looks forward. He's got his brother in the middle of the ground. And again, Collis to Collis. It's like a broken record for Tars this year. Goes to his captain in Turnbull. Long way out. Blazed away. and he's missed everything, but luckily enough for him, it's bounced before going out of bounds, so not all is lost.
Once again, the getting away from the stoppage is important, and Waratah's power away from it, and a few of the Tiwi midfielders were left walking through the middle of the ground and allowing the Collis boys and Turnbull to run free. They just need to pair off and stay on somebody and work a little bit harder defensively, some of the Tiwi boys.
Mankara there, try to get the hands over for Tiwi. Didn't get it far, and it's worked over the boundary line by Magro. And that's something that already Waratah's looking a lot better in this quarter, is keeping the ball inside their forward 50 when they get it there. They're not letting Tiwi get away with it and running out of the back line easy.
Yeah, good point, Will. And it just gives your midfielders a chance to rest. It lets your back line rest a bit if you can lock it into your forward half.
And we've just seen it again. There's that hack out from the Tiwi defender. Only got as far as Goulden. Has worked it forward. Turnbull now, he's just had a shot on the run here a couple of seconds ago. Missed it, so he's find Rich leading forward, leading strong, and given him an opportunity. He's had a few absolute shockers in that first quarter. Rich did one from outside 50 where it just didn't connect, one from the goal square where it's hit his opposition on the way through. We'll see if he can have a better effort with this one. He didn't have confidence at all. He tried to find Collis, but almost put it straight in the hands of David Cruz. Collis got the better of him though, throws it on his boot. Goes to the near side, and that's a behind. So probably a bit of a wasted opportunity there for Waratah. They move to 3-7.
I'd like to see Corey Rich walk where he can actually see the play. When you turn your back on the play, if you're meant to do that, God would have given you eyes in your backside so that you could see things.
Not a great kick out from Tiwi, but it'll work for them. McAdam now throws it on the boot. It'll be a foot race. Gooch, if he can get there first. In fact, Cantilla's worked it beautifully. Trying to get possession. He does now. Rolls around. Throws it on his boot. Not a great kick there.
Overcorrected it in the end.
Yeah. But it was good pressure that he looks to apply there. If he could have got a goal.
Yeah, that's a let off for Tars. Kim Cantilla doesn't miss those ones very often, like shelling peas for him.
And the scoreboard would definitely suggest that wind's playing havoc today, Haley. It's 3 goals to a total of 11 behinds between the two teams. And a few other shots which have not gotten close. It's Turnbull now for Tars. Gets it out of the back 50. Not sure about the option there. Goes to Carroll and Collis, who are capable, but it was those two on about 4 Tiwi plays, and Tiwi could make them play here. Puruntudameri Dunn gets it forward to Cunningham, throws it on his boot. Cantilla, good mark in the goal square. And Tiwi surely here have an opportunity to finally get some reward for what's been a decent effort so far today.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but it's going to get them a goal here.
It looks like
they needed it, Will. But once again, Turnbull, just get somebody on him. We've got to, I think they probably need to look at getting somebody onto Turnbull because he's damaging. He just gets so much of the ball. He looks like he's going out of the middle now and he's moving up into the forward half. But yeah, they probably need to either look at running a player with him possibly.
Yeah, you're right,
to
Haley.
nullify his influence.
He's been great today, and that's probably the trouble with coming up against the Tars is they've got so many numbers. Obviously, Carroll, I just mentioned before, it's probably been their best so far this year, but they've got the Collis boys who can roll through. They've got Magro, who's in the middle now. Turnbull's probably having a big influence today, and he's not even in the middle trying to pick him. He's resting up forward now, so they've got plenty of options, Waratah, and Tiwi possibly unsure who to play on who at the moment. They get the ball forward, though. If they can do that, they won't need to worry too much. Puruntudameri trying to get to the ball first, as is Lorenzo. Haven't called his name yet today.
Yeah, it was just Duller out of the middle there, and young William Duller just get it on the boot. Great stuff. He got in good position and just kicked it forward. Get it going forward, and then anything can happen. Great mark before too by King Cantilla, and under pressure, and took a very good contested mark and kicked the goal.
So it's Oborn on Graham in the ruck here. Oborn uses his strength Doesn't quite get the hit out to go his way. Gee, that was quick out of the pack there from the Tiwi forward. Kicks towards goal, and it's gone through. And I think that was William Duller there again, your man, Haley.
Yeah, that's good. He's only a young player, Duller, but already he seems to be able to play at the level, and that's what you want. And when the Tiwis won the flag, let's remember they're going through a bit of a transition at the moment, and you know, they're great players, Simon Munkara and you know, Ross Tungatalam and these guys, and Efren Tippenwoody. They'd all played a lot of NTFL football before the Tiwi Bombers, and then they formed the Bombers. So a lot of those guys are gone. So a lot of these guys we haven't seen playing NTFL football. So they're going to take, I listened to Dean Rioli on the radio today and talking about, you know, 30, 40, 50 games, and it's going to take a little bit of time.
If he can keep that up, he'll be set for hopefully a long career in the NTFL and hopefully even beyond that. Yeah,
and I know Coach McAdam's doing a great job over there. I've caught up with him a couple of times on the island and talked, you know, his structures are really good. He's brought some professionalism back into the Tiwi team. So it will take time for these young players to get up to the standard of NTFL.
Like clockwork there, Kirinoa onto the chest to the strong lead of Turnbull, who goes back to Kirinoa, trying to reward the runner there. And he's a chance here. He's every chance here. He's at tight angle, close to the boundary line, about 35 metres out. We'll see what he can do, Kirinoa. Good kick. The wind's just had a bit too much of an influence, and good defensive work there from David Cruz on the goal line.
Henry Keranua, the son of a gun. Adam Keranua probably watching over on the island. So g'day, Ads. Sharon over there watching their son play on Gardens Oval, and Adam's certainly a premiership player at Waratah's and St Mary's, and played with the Brisbane Bears like before they were the Lions, I think.
Famous, just another one of our many famous territory footballing names, Haley.
Could play, and these young blokes are a very good player as well, young Henry. So
now got the Waratah forward lining up for goal, and he's kicked it through after what was a pretty ordinary kick out. They've had a few of those today, Tiwi, out of their back line.
Yeah, just got to keep their heads up, the Bombers. It's not the end of the world. The Oppo kicks a goal. Robert Harvey used to have a thing where he'd always run back to the centre. Didn't matter where he was on the ground. If the opposition kicked the goal, he'd run back to the centre and set himself back up. And this is where the Tiwis need to just get that enthusiasm and get the centre players back into the mix and compete again. They're doing well, and now let's see if they can't get this one out of the middle and go forward and get a goal themselves.
It was Jay McGrath there kicking the goal for Waratah, who's been very promising so far this year, yet to sort of explode. Keen to see what he can do throughout the rest of the game and the rest of the year. His play's underway again in the middle. Tiwi work it outside. Munkara will be first to it for the Bombers. Takes one bounce.
Dion.
Takes a second bounce, gets inside 50, kicks it towards goal.
Bad luck.
I was trying to will it home there, Haley.
You've got to love Dion Munkara in full flight, having a couple of bounces, and it would have been a beautiful finish had he kicked it. Had he kicked that goal.
And probably what Tiwi needed. They trail by 15 points at the moment. It's 2 goals 4 to 4 goals 7. And Waratah not making it easy for themselves. Oborn trying to get the tackle on. Gee, they've let him escape there. Out of the defensive 50, Waratah work it. Hand it over the middle. Brodie Carroll now gets it outbound to Turnbull again. He looks for McGrath, who's marked just inside the field of play. No, it's out on the full.
Mully Cruz's free kick. I saw they put Dave Cruz into the ruck. I prefer to see Dave in defence. I think he's one of those players that will hold his own. He's played at the level for a long time, and though I know that he'll go into the ruck and give the ruckman a bit of a rest, but he's much better down back.
Carroll to Turnbull there. Again, said that plenty of times today. He's missed again, unfortunately. You're right, David Cruz, very athletic man there. He's more than capable in the ruck. Probably not who you want to be doing it all the time, but when they do need to chop out, as they will today with and throughout most of the year with not the tallest list, he's more than capable. Tiwi now work it out. Not a great kick. Munkara tries to work it back, but Collis will take advantage. Tiwi end up with the ball. No, they don't. Waratah working it back slowly but surely. And it's Stevens now. Throws it onto the boot. A few numbers up forward. Magro, his kick was interrupted by Silva. McCarthy now trying to mop up. Magro takes it. He's free. Works around the man. Hands it over the top. And Jay McGrath kicks his second in about 2 minutes worth of play. And just a bit too easy there for Waratah. Tiwi sort of did their bit to try, but at the end of the day, Waratah just had a lot more efforts there.
Yeah, just had to kill that ball, basically. Knock it through for a point, or it's like the Tiwi player tried to keep it in. I don't think that was his intention. It was one of those ones that he was probably willing it to go through, and it didn't quite get there, and the Waratah player put a good effort in there to win the footy and get it back to Magro. So, yeah, Tars a couple of handy goals against the runner play a little bit, because the Tiwis were getting their tails up a little bit, and Waratahs have taken that momentum back off them.
And just quickly on Magro, he got that ball in that forward pocket there, and you could almost see he wasn't hungry for the goals, but he was motivated to move it forward, and then he saw his man over the top and just easy as you like gave it over to him.
Unselfish play, wasn't it, from Magro? And like the guy, we know he loves kicking a goal, but that was great to see. From a coaching perspective, you want to see that sort of selfless act where he could just flick it over the top.
Umpires just trying to work out this 6-6-6 rule. Today looks like Tiwi have received their first not only warning, had an extra player in their back line, so just moving the wings forward. I think it's been underway for this is the second year, I believe, Hayley, and it's been relatively good. Haven't seen too many free kicks from it. A few warnings, but no major free kicks this year. Great one-handed mark from Collis up forward there. That's Dylan Collis.
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do is to give him a warning.
Again, unselfish play from Tars.
You give him a warning. It's probably 40 degrees out in the middle of that ground, and it's it's not rare. It's not unrare for people to lose a bit of concentration and forget where they're meant to be for a moment. So I think it's common sense from the umpires just to say, "Oh, you guys, get to your 6, 6 and 6," because it is hot and it is energy sapping out there. So I think it's a sensible approach just to give sides an opportunity to correct themselves. And no one's deliberately trying to get an unfair advantage, I wouldn't think.
And Waratah threatening to break away here. They've moved to 6 goals, 9, 45, 28 points ahead of Tiwi on 2 goals, 5, 17. And moving it again. Collis out of the middle, goes to Graham, tries to hand it through to Magro.
Oh, no.
And Waratah will get the free kick there.
Oh.
Just missed that incident. Hey, did you see what happened?
Oh, yeah, it was borderline, but I suppose it was probably there. I don't know.
Collis looking to make the most of it. Plays on, kicks it forward. He's got a few men out wide. Will it come to Magro? Yes, it will. Needs to get on his boot. He does. And McGrath throws it on the boot, and he gets to Silva. He plays on. Don't know if that was the right move. Gets on the outside of the boot. It's paid off for him.
Yeah, little Silva. He's Curtly Silva. I came and watched him last week playing the Div 1, and he was a live wire in that game, and was rewarded this week with a senior call-up and did quite well there. Just thought his way through it, Willie. Sort of, he didn't panic. He took his time. He got around the guy coming at him and then did a little cheeky check side on his right foot to kick that one through.
And so Waratah moved to 7 goals, 9, 51 against Tiwi, 2 goals, 5, 17. It's a 34-point margin there.
Yeah, Tiwi need to respond now. It's getting towards time on in the second quarter, and they just really need to dig deep here and get the next goal.
And umpire Emma Stark, absolute territory. Young gun balling it up in the middle there. And there's Curtly Silva for Waratah again. Gets it over to Kieran Noah. Gets it to the captain in Turnbull, and he finds Rich, who knocks it forward. Brodie Carroll has got plenty of space to move. He'll work it onto his left. Goes into the middle. And Rich kicks it behind. Another one for him today.
Yeah, good movement again there. And, I thought Brodie Carroll could have just maybe had a go at that himself. And, but, trying to bring his teammates into the play is good also. But, he probably had an opportunity. He probably could have kicked that himself.
think Ayresy could be ready to move Rich further down the ground. He hasn't had a great day up forward so far, but Tiwi work it forward, back to the play. And it's Josh Lean who takes the mark up forward.
A big clunker coming out of the goal square.
Yep.
The fella's just grabbed it.
Plugger-esque from...
big Josh Lean.
Yep, Josh Lean.
Kick it, son. Oh, he's got a little bit of googly about that one as well.
Oh, yep. Not a great kick there. They moved to 2 goals, 6-18.
Yeah, they needed that one, big fella. He just needed to go back and kick that goal for him. But anyway, promising signs for the Bombers. If they could just get a couple before half-time, will get themselves back in this game.
And it's Crocker kicking out from full-back. Not a great one. Finds Cecil Purintatameri. He goes on, I think it's Max Lower. There were plenty of numbers back for Waratah to punch the ball through, and that's what they've done.
Could have almost marked that.
Yeah, they probably could have.
Four of them
probably could have kept it alive and kept the play going.
A little bit of talk, wouldn't have gone astray.
And Crocker has another opportunity to take it out. Finds Goulden.
Yeah, nice leg.
Great kick onto the chest of Kirinoa. Finds Dill Collis in the middle. Takes one bounce.
These Collis boys, they love to run with the footy.
Absolutely. Kadanak, he's got a number there and he gets it to his man in Turnbull. Dances around his Tiwi opponent. Throws it on the boot. Not the greatest kick, but he worked it forward. And Tiwi now have an opportunity to work it out. Jackson Fisher here.
He's
kicks
been
it
good,
out.
Fisher. I like the way Fisher goes about it.
It's been one of their better players today, Fisher has. Cecil Purintatameri trying to make the most of it here. Taps it forward, another tap forward. Won't get a stat there. Gets a boot to it, but Gooch gets hands to it first cleanly, and he kicks it back. Now finds Kadanak at centre-half back position for Waratah. Got a few numbers out wide. The bodies are definitely tiring as they're getting closer to half-time here at Gardens Oval. And that kick out of 50. Rich was the target. He had a few to beat. He's been clipped high, but umpire won't pay a free against him. Still trying to work it.
Yeah, free kick that time.
It's a free to Harley Purintatameri. Played on when he probably shouldn't have. Found Cantilla, throws it on the boot. They really needed to think that through a bit better, Tiwi did.
John Taylor used to say to us at St Mary's, there's 3 reasons you tap the ball, Will. 1, you're scared. 2, you're sadly out of form. Or the third reason is you simply can't play. That's what he'd say to you. So you wouldn't get away with tapping the football in John Taylor's team.
No, and it's a bit of a Tiwi way of playing. They do love a tap, but particularly on that far wing there, I think it was Cecil Purintatameri probably just needed to take possession and try and work it forward a bit cleaner. Cantilla tries to use his body there. Purintatameri done. Takes possession. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Gets it out to Cunningham. Throws it on the boot. And that's a goal.
Yeah, they needed that one. Young Cunningham, Douglas, popped up in the right place at the right time and took his opportunity. So just going into 22 minutes into the second quarter, probably time may run out for the Bombers here, but it'd be good if they could get another one. Waratahs are running a fair few interchange rotations at the moment. It is a pretty balmy day down here at Gardens Oval. While there is a little bit of a light breeze, Will, but probably a 2 to 3 goal breeze, I think, favouring right of screen, which is normally the scoring end here at Gardens. It has been for the 40 years that I've been coming along.
Wind doesn't change that quickly, does it, Haley?
No, no.
As Tiwi reduced the margin, they now sit on 3 goals, 7-25, trailing Waratah on 7 goals, 10-52. It's a 27-point game. As Wilkins again, who's been pretty good in the ruck today, gets a hit out. Tiwi try and work it forward. Now comes to Collis with his silver hair. Both the boys are rocking with the bleach this year. And Travis Tambling, for his first time being called today, took possession but was taken over the line.
Yeah, it's better, once again, a lot better pressure there from the Bombers at the centre bounce. And I think Duller went through strongly, but his own player might have got in his way there, young Aidan McAdam. and they ended up colliding. But the attack on the ball's been okay. I'd like to see them probably grab it a little bit more off the ground.
Carroll for Waratah. G was clean with his hands there. Found his man in Collis. Throws it on the boot. Not a bad barrel there. Ball comes to Turnbull now. Collis again. Kicks it towards goal. That's straight through. Gee, both those boys are on absolute fire today. Leather poisoning for that family.
Yeah, the 4 and the 6, the Collis boys. They certainly get a lot of the ball, but their work rate's enormous. They just run. They're obviously super fit, and they just keep running. Turnbull once again involved in that passage of play. So it's the usual suspects, isn't it, with Waratahs, your Collises, your Turnbulls and Brodie Carroll. Those guys are very clean users of the football.
Absolutely. I was about to say it's that problem. There's just too many of them. Who do you stop? Carroll, all of them getting involved in there. Carroll, Turnbull, even Magro, who wasn't involved in that passage of play, has been very good today. He's kicked the 3 goals so far.
He's still in on the ball, Magro.
Wilkins
there he is.
With the tap there. Tiwi with a rare opportunity forward. And it's Dulla working forward there. But a good fist from Goulden gets it over the boundary line.
They've been impressed with William Dulla. I think he's one of the guys that is a player that could possibly continue to play well at this level, and been impressed today in a midfield that's probably a little bit behind at the moment. Tars have probably been a little bit stronger through the middle, but Dulla's sort of held his own.
McAdam in the ruck for Tiwi. Kim Cantilla took possession, tried to work his magic, but got tackled and pinged for holding the ball. And there can only be not too long left in this quarter. There's been a few goals, but we edge towards a 26-minute mark. And it's Spence kicking it out of the back line. It's not a great kick. He's found the boundary line.
It's been about 8 goals, has he?
It's been 3 for Tiwi and, about 8 goals. So could be a bit more time, but I wouldn't have thought too long. That far side, McCarthy restarting play. Couldn't find Dion cleanly. Still working it forward though. And the siren beats him. So it's 3 goals, 7-25 Tiwi, trailing Waratah on 8 goals, 10-58. It's a 33-point margin in favour of Waratah here at Gardens Oval. You're watching AFL&T's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season. I'm Will Zwar. With me is Damien Hale, and we will be with you after this halftime break. Welcome back to Gardens Oval. I'm Wills War. With me is Damien Hale, and you're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season. Round 5 action here, and it's the Morris Rioli Cup we're playing for today. Tiwi Bombers hosting Waratah in what's their first official home game of the year here in Darwin. But they're trailing 3 goals 7-25 to 8 goals 10-58. So that's a 33-point margin, Haley. And two quarters down, who have you seen as the best players in today's game?
Oh, look, I thought Will early on, the Bombers were very competitive and took to Waratahs a little bit of time to get going. But I think the midfield of Waratahs sort of kicked into gear, and Robbie Turnbull's been very good for them. Both the Collis boys, Will and Dylan Collis, have been very, very strong through the middle of the ground. I thought Keranua's certainly gives them class ball use, and he's another one who's done well. Magro up forwards, kicked 3 goals, and I think Jaden McGrath's got 2, so those 2 guys have worked well up forward. I think the Brodie Carroll's serviceable every week. He's just, you can lock him in for 25 plus every week, and he's a great ball user. So, and I thought Ross across half back has been very strong, and certainly gives them a lot of run and a lot of carry and a physical body there for the Bombers. I've been impressed with William Duller. I mentioned it in the call. I think that he's a player that they can build into a good player into the future. I think Dion Munkara's, you just need a Dion Munkara up forward, and you need one down back, and you need one in the middle. Like, he's a class player, Dion, and probably just needs to keep pushing himself into the game and to take those leadership roles. Jackson Fisher was good for the Bombers also. Made one bad kick into the... You can almost forgive him for that because he has done a lot of hard work around the ground. So he's one of the guys that they brought in with a bit more physical build. And I think Kim Cantilla, from limited opportunities, he's a class player. They just need to get the ball in his hands and try to find him on every opportunity going forward. Because Kim is a very good player. So I thought that from his limited opportunities, he did kick a goal as well. So all in all, I think Waratahs were probably deserve to have the lead that they've got. But the Tiwi, from a competing perspective, not too bad. Better than the last time I watched them.
Absolutely. I think you've hit the nail on the head with all of those points there, Haley. And in particular, I was going to say, don't forget the halfback brigade for Waratah, which you mentioned them as well. Obviously, there's a few of them there: Waratah, Goulden, O'Dwyer, Crocker. They've been integral to making sure the ball has stayed inside Waratah's forward half and forward 50 that quarter. So yes, they've been very good. And I think the standout for Tiwi, as you said, is probably William Duller. Hasn't sort of been a huge influence throughout the whole first half, but when he's had the ball, he's done some pretty good things with it. And Cantilla as well has been promising up forward from limited opportunity.
Yep.
As umpire Emma Stark balls it up to get the second half underway, and it's Dion Munkara for Tiwi who gets the first clean disposal, kicks it forward, couldn't get a clean mark from his forward player. They still keep possession, under tackle now. And umpire Stark calls for a ball up inside forward 50 for Tiwi.
Tiwi need a really big quarter here. They can't afford to be blown away in this third quarter and have too much to do in the last quarter if they're going to stay in this game.
And it's Collis there. They did seem to start pretty strongly, Tiwi, but it's very easy for Waratah, as it's Rich who gets the ball forward, can't find his man, or in fact he can. It's a clever snap, but it's a behind there from Harrison Kitch, who's kicked 1 goal so far today.
Yeah, just once again away from that stoppage. Just far too easy at times for Tars today.
It looks like it's Travi Tambling kicking out from fullback here. Looks for his man in McAdam. Didn't have enough on it, and it's Joel Stevens who takes the mark. He looks for the lead. Didn't see the Tiwi player in Michael Dunn at half back there. He plays on and kicks it out straight down the throat of Joel Crocker, and that wasn't a great one.
Might be testing all the boys for colour blindness. Both teams there kicking to opposition players.
And it's a 50-metre penalty. Not sure what's happened there, if it was an off-the-ball incident or possibly even the stand rule, which is coming this year.
Might have been the stand rule, might have shuffled 3 centimetres sideways. Bang, you're gone.
And again, a rule change which has when first announced, was a bit controversial, but I think it's been implemented and applied and accepted by the players and umpires very well so far this year. And Crocker kicks the goal there from about 25 out directly in front and extends Waratah's lead. And Tiwi came out of that first centre bounce very quickly, very cleanly. But since then, it's really been all Waratah.
Yeah, they've just got to get their heads up, the Tiwi Bombers. They can't afford to go back into their shell now. There's a few blokes walking with their heads down. The body language has got to be strong now, and they need to hold firm here and really dig in and play for this game, because if they get blown away in this quarter, they're not going to be close enough to come in the last quarter. So they really need to rust on and dig deep here.
It'll be Auburn against Wilkins in the middle again today. It's been a pretty interesting duel. Wilkins probably been the better, and he's won that one there. And it's a free kick Tiwi's direction to the ruckman Auburn. It's from the Mornington Peninsula, I believe, in Victoria. Played some high quality football, but that wasn't a great kick. No, poor bloke every time
He had Dion Munkara just ran straight past him and should have just given him the handball.
Every time I've talked him up, he's had a bit of a turnover, a bit of a shocker with his disposal, but he'll be all right, Auburn, as Waratah looking.
He's a competitor, isn't he, Auburn? He gets in and has a go.
He's probably facing an uphill battle all day against Wilkins in the ruck, but he's definitely kept going and kept his head high today.
And just that little give to Munkara, that's what the ruckman should be doing. Dion Munkara's the silk. Get the ball to him, because he can kick it and hit a target.
Ball now with Jackson Fisher. Couldn't quite get to Puruntatameri Dunn, who's another workhorse. Dunn now trying to get on the end of it. Gets it on his boot. Finds Cantilla at full forward, who picks it up, runs around on his left. And he's shanked that one.
He won't be happy with that one, Kim, but that's how dangerous he is. He's just one of those players that he doesn't need a lot of space to make an impact on the game, and he just shrugged that tackle. He's got a little bit of Tunga Talam about him when he's one-on-one. He's just very strong through the core, very hard player to match up on.
One of those players where it almost looked like time stood still. He just had that much space and speed around him that, no one could quite keep up with him. If only he could put it through the big sticks. Munkara gets a finger to it, so it won't be a clean take. But Waratah still managed to work it forward for Saltalamakia. Wasn't a great kick, though. It's Tiwi now with another opportunity, straight to Munkara. He's taken the mark. Umpire's called play on. Cunningham's kick was smothered. Harley McCarthy taps it down. Now with Graham for Waratah, looking to get the hands off. He finds Gooch. Gooch with a good kick down this near wing. Finds Kitch. And he goes forward to Magro. Puruntatameri couldn't take the mark. Magro got the kick forward. Collis now with the crumbs. Gets it out to Magro again. And the umpire has plucked a free. And it'll go to Collis. William Collis this time.
William Collis has got it.
Dylan's already kicked a goal today.
Yeah, just a little bit unfortunate there. The tackle sort of rode up as he was falling. So, yeah, just got to be careful with those tackles, especially in your back 50. Like, you give away these type of free kicks, and guys like these Collis boys are just going to go back and jail it, and he has. You'd be saying, Will, I don't know what the coaches would have said at half time, but if I had been Coach McAdam, I would have been talking about one, grabbing the ball and body lining the ball, getting your body behind the ball and picking the ball up. Don't tap the ball, and to work both ways with your offensive and defensive running. So, they're two areas that the Tiwi will need to continue to improve on during the year. But from a competing point of view, they have got in and they have got dirty and rolled their sleeves up.
Absolutely, and they do look a bit cleaner already. The two-way running, I think they could still work on. We've already seen that from 6 minutes of this third quarter. They're definitely putting a bit more effort as Auburn works it forward now. The kick comes out of half back from Waratah and finds Turnbull, who's been a magnet today. Gets it out to Kirinoa on the wing. He takes a bounce and plays on. Gets it onto his trusty left. Down to the forward. It's not quite a mark from McGrath, but Collis will rove it. Dylan Collis this time. Kicks it forward, and Brodie Carroll pops up. He's been able to do that this year. Very good play. Did the same thing last week.
Thought his way through that really well, and Will Collis, was it?
Will Collis that time. Dylan Collis, sorry.
Yeah, and just set it up nicely there, and Brodie Carroll had the run of that play and was able to come in and take a nice mark, but it just took his time, you know, and the better players in the competition look as though they have plenty of time.
And Carroll's another one who doesn't let those opportunities go to waste. It's his first goal of the day, and he's been a bit more active in front of goals this year than he has previously. And their absolute legion of midfielders, they've got quality midfielders at Waratah, means that they are able to sneak forward and do that. Obviously, the two Collis boys kicked a goal. Carroll's kicked a goal today. So they're not short of midfielders and goal-kicking midfielders, which are as good as gold in footy. Umpire Morrison now looking to restart plays. They're doing a head count for that 6-6-6 rule. It's Graham with the hit that time. And the Tiwi plays pinged for holding the ball. Ball now comes out to Crocker.
Yeah, Crocker's done well, Will, in just pushing up and getting up the ground, and you can see the Waratah's backmen are pushing forward.
Corey Rich now with the ball. Kicks it inside 50. Collis flew but couldn't take the mark. They now work it out a half back, the Bombers will. It finds Erickson, Blake Erickson. Wheels around, kicks it forward to McAdam. He'll get to run onto it. A fist in there by Goulden, but McAdam trying to use his body, use his feet as well. Now takes possession, spins around, gets the hands out to Cunningham. Couldn't take it cleanly, but now gets possession. He throws it on the boot, kicks it forward. And it's Pluggerleen up forward, couldn't take the mark. Fisher running through. He's pinged for holding the ball.
Yeah, Plugger gave him a contest there. Well done, McAdam over there. Had a good won a good one-on-one, and they've just got to do more of that, the Bombers. They just need to compete in those one-on-ones.
Nick Gooch now former captain for the club and ever reliable in the back line. With a mark and then a free kick. Not a great kick. Cross ground, Cantillo gobbles it up, throws on the boot, and just didn't look to put enough in that one.
He had a couple of blokes inside there that were screaming for the ball too.
Crocker now in the back pocket for Waratah. Looks and finds Spence.
Far too easy, you know. Like they've got to man up. You can't just let them run out loose like they are.
Collis gets the bounce ball. Gets it through to Saltalamarkia. Now over to Katanak. He goes forward to Magro. Magro throws it on the left. Turnbull's up forward lurking. Couldn't take the mark running back with the ball, and it rolls over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in the Waratah forward pocket.
Yeah, I think just pairing off just then would be really important to get a message to those Tiwi forwards. You know, find a player.
And you're right, it's just been a bit too easy the past couple of minutes for Waratah.
Yeah.
Silva roves the ball. And he's been given a free kick. So Kurtley Silva's kicked one goal today. That cheeky check side down the other end, Haley.
Yeah, a little bit lucky there, I think, Silva. I would have thought it was almost holding the ball, but I think the Tiwi player may have gone on with it, and any of those sort of sling tackles now or will be pulled up and penalised. So it was a 50-50. It could have gone either way, and a little bit of luck there for Silva.
He strolls in. It was a good kick, good technique, but he hasn't quite put it through. It's behind as Tiwi move to 3 goals 9, and inaccuracy early for Tars and now for Tiwi's playing a bit of a role in this game. 3 goals 8 26 on 11 goals 12 78. Mankara out of the back line. Kicks it to Contest. Stevens gets it to Wilkins. Wilkins out to Kiranoa, taps it to his own advantage. He's tripped from McAdam and he'll get the free kick. Too far out to score. We'll look to play on quickly. Finds a lead of Silva. Oh, big contest there. Silva gets his hands out to Magro. Magro rolls onto the left. He likes that one. That's a goal.
Yeah, well done, young Silva. Got it to Magro, and he's kicked his 4th, I think, there. So, yeah, just that long kick out from Dion. Then it's not really the go of the Tiwi Bombers. You know, they're probably better when they maintain possession out of their back half and chop around and try to hit your short 45s. I don't know whether their skill level's up to that at the moment. So, you know, a little bit of frustration. They're worried about turning the ball over, so they're going to kick it long to the contest, which sort of takes them out of, you know, what their real strength is, and that is when they play their possession footy and they run and they create. So I haven't seen too many pack marks from a Tiwi Bombers player so far this year, but so that's probably playing into Waratah's hands. They'll love those long kicks down the line, and they can get their numbers and their superior midfielders around it.
And keeping in mind, it's not always easy for Tiwi to get those structures up and about. Obviously, they have their squad training here in Darwin and half over on the islands, which is never, you know, going to make for an easy season, is it, Haley?
No, it's probably, as I said to the coach, it's probably the most difficult, one of the most difficult logistically to coach this football team. He's got players in different communities, Perlin-Gympie and Milakarpiti and Warramunga, so, and plus also blokes in town.
Tars again working the ball forward. David Cruz trying to get a hands to it, taps it forward under pressure, now gets a boot to it. Not sure about that, but it managed to work out, broke the lines. Hand now comes to Cunningham. Cunningham gets it back there to Cantilla. That's Matthew Cantilla. He throws it on his left, and Thomas Graham won't take the mark, but will be first to it. Cantilla was hot on his tail. That was Kim Cantilla that time. He's tackled and he's been pinged. And great water for effort. Cantilla now too far out to score, but he'll play on. And he finds Jackson Fisher just outside 50.
Was that Harley Purantatameri out there screaming for it? He was 30 metres on his own.
It was, and he's got another lead coming to him, a bit short. And, gee, that's undisciplined. I'm not sure who gave away the free kick there, but...
Yeah, it was the ruckman, I think it was, Luke Oban. Got tangled up there with the Waratahs player.
And Spence kicks it out to Cadillac on half back, finds Magro. And undisciplined there, and not what you want to see at all. They haven't had a lot of opportunities today, and that was a pretty good one.
It's a great kick, isn't it?
Great kick to Collis, who now kicks it out to his man on the lead. It's Corey Rich out on that far flank. Looking to wheel it around, plays on, kicks towards goal, goes across the face, and it's a behind.
He does a really nice kick there from Magro.
Yeah, great kick in the middle, and Collis is not fantastic, but definitely found his man.
Yeah, that little bit of ill discipline there hurt the Tiwis. They should have been having a shot on goal. Well, Jackson Fisher was going to have a shot on goal and had that football taken off him.
Not a great kick on goal from Corey Rich. I wonder how close Ayres is to taking his goal-kicking licence off him. He's had a few blunders today. David Cruz here kicking out from fullback. Looks towards his ruckman in Oborn. Couldn't take the mark. Carroll at the bottom of that pack. Oborn looking to rove it. Carroll now again off to Collis. He kicks it inside 50, over the head of Magro, but he finds another man up forward who's well within range, about 35 out on a slight angle. And it's Kitch, who's already kicked one today. Been lively up forward.
Yeah, he has been. He's moved around well, and it's always a little bit difficult to play across that half-forward line at Gardens Oval because of the size of the ground. So it is, you know, the half-forward flank is literally starvation corner and so he's done well to keep moving around, and especially when you've got midfielders pushing down there like the Collis boys, Carroll, Turnbull, they all push in hard and create opportunities as well. So, you know, that's a nice finish there for Kitch. Yeah, the Tars have just steadied here, and you know, the body language of the Bombers needs to improve. They're not looking overly enthusiastic right now, and they've 17 minutes gone in the third quarter, so they've still got to come out and have another crack in this last quarter. So hopefully they can, you know, not let this game get blown out. I don't think they deserve a flogging, to be honest, Will. I think that they've tried pretty hard, but it's obviously just lacking a few blokes that have played at this level before. No,
and to this stage of the game, 3 goals are probably a bit shy on what they really should be. Definitely been better than a 3-goal 8 side, but I mean that's footy for you. If you're not accurate, you're not going to get the score on the board, and they haven't been accurate today and haven't taken their opportunities. As ball threatens to bounce out there, but the umpire calls for mine. Restart play just left of centre here. Turnbull with the clearance, but only as far as Purintatameri Dunn. Throws it out to Michael Dunn. He's pinged for holding the ball.
And Magro's a class player, isn't he? He's shown already that he's a well-credentialed footballer, and from East Perth, and is a great user of the ball. That's another beautiful kick, just out, and he almost wills the forwards to lead to where he's going to kick it, and Collis takes the mark, and then he's found a player in there, and
Adam Goulden. And it was a lovely kick from Magro. It was about, what was it, almost 40 metres, and he's hit him on the chest on a strong lead. They're not easy kicks at all, especially when the player's moving, and you never know what the wind's going to do here at Gardens Oval, but absolute star quality Waratah's found in him.
Yeah, he's just there at centre-half back, marshalling the troops, getting the zone sorted out. They're all in zone.
Not a likely goal kicker. And that one
of the half-back flankers again, I think, just pushed down, and he'll be banished to the back line, Will. You've had your go, now go back.
Yep.
Who's next?
I know that story all too well, Haley.
Yeah, that's it.
And Harley McCarthy now in the back pocket. Again, they're not really presenting Tiwi. Harley Purintatameri takes a mark, plays on to his skipper and Dion Munkara. Auburn with an errant fist. And a bit of aerial ping-pong going on as Carroll takes a mark inside 50.
A little bit of frustration there from Dion, just kicking that ball. He would have normally probably grabbed that football. Probably a little bit frustrated with how the restrictions that Waratahs have placed on the Tiwi backline to try to get out of their back 50. It's almost impossible. They're having to go long to the contest all the time, which suits Waratahs. So full credit to the Waratahs forwards. They're shutting it down. They're shutting down the exit points.
And Carroll plays on, kicks it from 48. It's a good-looking kick.
He's a good player.
And he's got it.
Yeah, he's a good player, Carroll, and just smart there. And I think that's where the stand rule, is a little bit confusing, because until the umpire calls play on, effectively you can't move. And Carroll seemed to bite off a fair bit of leniency, and the Tiwi player was still standing on the mark in the stand position. Now, I'm not out there, so I don't know if the umpire called play on. I couldn't hear that, but you know, that one there sort of confuses me a little bit as to why that player was able to move off the mark and put pressure on Carroll.
Yeah, for me, a heat of the moment. You can see there Carroll clearly had played on. By the time the umpire, gets his whistle or calls play on, he's already moved too far and has a shot on goal. And the player as classy as Carroll's not going to miss those ones too often. The play resumes here. Tiwi through Munkara, look to get the clearance, kicks it out to the wing to Cecil Purintatameri. Collis gave him something to work for, but he's managed to gather the ball, works it forward, takes one bounce, throws it onto the left, kicks it forward to Auburn on the forward flank. A good fist from Gooch behind him. They get into a scuffle on the boundary line. Play resumes, umpire calls play on. And Kieran Noah gets the handball out. And Auburn getting a little frustrated there. He's given away a free kick to Gooch.
It's another free kick by Auburn. He needs to just calm down a little bit. because he's a competitor. You can tell he's a fiery lad. He's having a go, and him and Gooch were doing a bit off the ball then.
Wilkins taps the ball down. Rich gets a kick under tackle. Collis gets her hands out. Boundary line, will it get to the ball first? No. Wilkins at the bottom of the tackle. Works over the line. Looks like we've got our man Plugger leaning the ruck here, Haley.
Plugger's been called across. No, he could have just said it was out. Give the boundary line up. Give the boundary line blokes a chance to throw it in. Strange behaviour.
Mankara dribbles the ball forward. It's a lovely dribbler. We'll have another throw in.
Slowly working it around into a scoring position, the Bombers.
And we move to 22 and a half minutes here, so it should be enough time for Tiwi if they're lucky enough to get a goal. But as we know, it's not going to come easy today. Oborn back in the ruck. The Waratah man gets it. Spence throws it on his boot. Wilkins takes the mark. No, he doesn't. He's now under hot pursuit. Plugger gets it on the boot. Big, strong kick forward. Cantilla at the bottom of that couldn't mark it. There was a fist over the top from Ross. Kieran Noah got his hands to it.
Yeah, great effort, Kim Cantilla there. Chased that ball down hard, laid the tackle, forced the boundary throw in. That's the sort of pressure that you need coming out from your forwards. They all need to take a leaf out of his book and attack the ball and attack the man like he just did.
And unfortunately, it's not as simple as this, but if you can keep it down there long enough, hopefully sooner rather than later you will have a shot on goal. So they have there. No, it's rolled over the boundary line. But not the worst result for Tiwi. They're threatening.
Looks like both teams are hanging out for a rest. There's a lot of walking going on.
Absolutely, a lot of hands on hips, hands on knees. And it's a very hot day, very hot and humid and sweaty here, that's for sure. Umpire resumes play. No one can take possession. It's rushed through from O'Dwyer.
Well, that was pretty much intentional.
Very intentional. I was going to say
one intent then.
Almost got away. Oh, he did get away with it there, but I would have been, a bit hesitant to do that if it was me. Kieran Noah gets the ball down. Collis and Tars have a run on here. He takes one bounce. He kicks it forward now. Breaks the line. Silva couldn't take the mark. And Tiwi now with the opportunity to reply. There's a man on in the middle. It's Dion Mankara. What can he do? Throws it on his left. Looks for Oborn. Kick didn't quite get to him, and the siren beats an opportunity to score. So at three-quarter time, it's 3 goals 9, 27. Tiwi Bombers trailing Waratah 14 goals 14, 98. It's a big margin here at Gardens Oval. You're watching AFL&T's coverage of 2021-22 TIO NTFL season. I'm Will Zwar. With me is Damien Hale, and we will be back for the final quarter right after this break. Welcome back to Gardens Oval. You're watching AFL&T's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season. Round 5 action. It's the Morris Rioli Cup between Waratah and the Tiwi Bombers. And at three-quarter time, it's Waratah with a convincing lead, 14 goals 14-98, playing Tiwi 3 goals 9-27. And it's is it a 71-point margin, Haley? I'm not a maths man myself.
Yeah, you weren't at school that day. They did maths, Will.
Nah.
Yeah, you're more of a writer, aren't you?
Yeah, bit of a writer, bit of a...
If you want to, you with the NT News still?
No, with ABC radio these days.
ABC radio, yep. I'm right across it, as you can see. I try to avoid the media. A bit disappointed the other week. I brought up my lake idea out at Palmerston as a counsellor, and it was only on the 3rd page. I said, well, what happened to them? They usually like putting me on the front page. So
yep.
I don't know what's wrong with the NT News these days. If it wasn't for me and crocodiles, they wouldn't sell it on paper.
The two big issues, Damien.
Yeah, the big issues with Dave Tolner. 104.9 if you're out there and you want to listen to a quality political show.
And we've got 1 quarter left in this game here. And it's a pretty one-sided affair, unfortunately. But what do you think the coaches are saying at three-quarter time? What can the players get out of this last 20-minute stanza? Well,
you're playing for a bit of pride, obviously, the Bombers. And I, as we said in the call, I don't think they deserve to get a 100-point flogging here. And, with a little bit of a breeze that seems to have dropped now, the breeze, the umpires want to get going, and they'll end up throwing this ball up, and the Bombers won't be back out in position. The Bombers are kicking to the right of screen, which has been the traditional scoring end of Gardens Oval. So hopefully they can rally a little bit and try to pull this back to a more respectable scoreline. But at the moment, 72 points adrift, or 71 points adrift. It's one of those times where they've just got to dig in and work hard to try to make sure they don't cop a hiding here.
And as you said, it's a scoring end Tiwi's kicking to. They've kicked 3 goals today. All of them came in that second quarter. So hopefully they can get a couple more on the board for their sake. They definitely deserve more than 3 goals. But in saying that, if you can't kick them, you can't kick them. So we'll see what they can do here. Yeah, well,
they haven't been able to kick a goal up to the high school end of the ground today, the Bombers. Waratahs have been able to.
And umpire Morrison to start play here. It's Oborn on Wilkins in the ruck. Oborn with that hit out. Dion Munkara now gets the hands out to his player on the wing. Now hands over into Cunningham. Cunningham runs forward. He throws the ball on the boot. And Pluggerleen couldn't take the mark, but works it to ground. The Tiwi player is pinged. Puruntatameri Harley. Puruntatameri it was. And now it's Corey Rich on the near side wing. Gets it back to Crocker. Crocker looks inboard. He finds his man in Cadillac. Goes out wide to Rich. Busy early so far, and he's playing higher up the ground, further away from goal, which I think does suit him a bit better. His goal kicking today is evidence to back that up. David Cruz coming from behind for Tiwi, but it's Curtly Silver who will crumb it, pick up possession. And his jumper is grabbed by Luke Oborn, but the umpire pays it for holding the ball, and they're underway. There's 2 in the middle for them. Fisher's got support. Rolls onto his left, kicks it forward to Cantilla. Kick just ahead of his lead. He taps it to keep it in play, but he slips over in the process. And Nick Gooch will mop it up for Waratah, but only finds the boundary line.
He had to keep his feet then, Kimmy Cantilla. He just fell over at the wrong time. But they've kicked it out on the full, the task, so the Tiwi boys have got it back. It looks like they're going to go forward again here, and Cantilla's a chance.
Oof. Nearly got up, but didn't quite get up as thought he was threatening to. The ball rolls over the boundary line.
Yeah, Jackson Fisher's kick a little bit wide there, but Fisher's got a nice left foot kick as well, and they've got to get the ball into his hands a little bit more often, particularly when they're going across the stripe. So I've been impressed with his game today.
And lean on O'Dwyer in the ruck. Puruntatameri Dunn falls over, tries to get a boot to it, but didn't quite work out, and it's taken over for a behind by Adam Goulden for Waratah. They look to restart pretty quickly and find their captain in Turnbull. Why wouldn't you start quickly when you can kick it to him? Now finds Crocker at half back.
This is where the Tiwis have to man up. Everyone's got to get a bloke and stop it from being so easy coming out, and Waratahs will just chip this ball around.
They had done a pretty good job there, Haley, but Rich got free, gets it back into Turnbull via Carroll. Now finds Collis in the middle. Couldn't take the mark. And Silva gets the advantage. Kicks it forward to Magro, who's on his own. Don't know where his man is. Don't want to leave him alone. He runs into it. Dances around his opposition in Ericsson. The ball's taken from his hands. He lays a tackle. And Collis now outside 50. Finds Corey Rich.
Yeah, Turnbull just pushing up through the middle of the ground there and just creating that extra player. So somebody's got to be on him. It's you know, you need to work out who's meant to be running with Robert Turnbull and get someone on him, because you know, everyone else had sort of paired off and there was a chance to shut that down, and then Turnbull bobs up by himself. Silver's got some pace. Quicksilver.
He does, Quicksilver.
He's
I like
quick.
that, Haley.
Yeah, very quick.
And he's clean as well. He's
he knows where front and centre is.
Absolutely. Not a great kick off the boot there.
A couple of times he's got to genuine front and centre and knows exactly what he's doing and plays his role well.
And further evidence for Corey Rich to spend a bit more time behind the centre line, I think. Douglas Cunningham takes a mark at centre half back.
You've just about buried poor old Rich today.
Oh, he's had a good day, but in front of goal he could do some work.
Yeah.
As he might send him out to the back oval here on Monday night for some goal kicking practice for a couple of hours.
Well, he gets plenty of it, and so it's probably worth him doing some practice, because he's not short of finding the ball. There's no problem there with Rich. He does get it. I'd like to see him get rid of that walking back. You know, if you plug a Lockett or Gary Ablett, you can turn your back. But, you know, I think Corey Rich needs to be looking around for another option.
And Tiwi now with an opportunity in front of goal. It's snapped.
Yeah, well done. It's Cantilla.
I think it was. Great goal. It's his second for the day, their first of the quarter. And they move to 4 goals 10. So you'd like to be a bit more accurate than that. But it's something for them to cheer about in this last quarter, Tiwi.
I'm not sure if it was Cantilla. I think it's guy walking back out towards the pocket there. Was it 22, 23 maybe? I don't know.
Could have been even our man Dulla. Number 12.
Yeah, it was.
It was William Dulla, yep. Yeah. So good reward for his effort today. He's been very good. It's his second goal.
Yeah, he's done well, Dulla. So yeah, just have to keep battling away here, the Bombers, and you know, try to get a little bit of respectability back on that scoreboard.
And Graham on Oborn. Cunningham running in off the wing, tries to get it, but Kerenua will make the most of his positioning. Now bounces it on, and it comes out to Magro. Magro on his left, looks to Carroll in the pocket, goes a bit past him. And on the lead was Jay McGrath. Couldn't take the mark, and we'll have a throw in their forward pocket down the high school end here at Gardens Oval.
Yeah, tight kick there from Magro. Probably could have gone the hands to Kerenua then, who was running past.
And Cruz out of the ruck, bounces past Munkara. Wilkins finds Turnbull, who's tackled and pinged for a throw. Tiwi look to move quickly. They get it down to their half-forward line. Oh, that's not a great kick. It's just bounced, and unfortunately Spencer's gotten boot to ball as it's headed over the boundary line. It'll be a free kick to Aid McAdam.
Good work then again by Fisher. You know, he's really worked hard. He'd be feeling the pinch. I think he's one of their blokes that they've got up from Brisbane. So probably wouldn't have played in heat like this before. So he's worked really hard for the side today.
And Harley Purantatameri, he looks confident. Looks like he'll go back and take a shot here from outside 50, close to the boundary line. What are your thoughts, Haley? Can he nail this one, or do you think he'll do a last-minute give-off?
Well, anything can happen when Harley's got the football. He's usually a pretty reliable kick on goal, Purantatameri.
Plays on, kicks it. Not a bad-looking kick at all.
There you go.
He's kicked it.
He liked it. Had a baby during the week and kicked his second goal. It's been serviceable, Harley. That's what the Tiwis want, you know. Let's get a little bit of a roll on here, the Bombers. It's only the 7-minute mark, so you know, if they can peg back 3 or 4 more goals and get this back to a 35, 40-point ball game, they can be pretty happy with their effort. I think we'll sort of still building. They're obviously got a lot of young players. The coach is still getting the game plan sorted. They're bringing guys in. But from all reports, they're getting good numbers to training, particularly in Warramyunga, the biggest area, but over at Milikapiti and Pearl and Gympie, they're also getting behind the Bombers, so which is good.
They've got a big crowd over here today. Obviously, it's the Morris Rioli Cup, and I believe it's also Simone Munkara's birthday, so Dion's nephew and Simon's daughter. So big family over here tonight, and they'll be celebrating her birthday tonight. But it's goals like that we just saw down the other end from Harleypur and Tutameri, which you like to see in situations like this. Not a lot to cheer for, but let's give the crowd something that they can relish and hold on to. Ball now in Waratah's forward line. And Magro trying to bulldog his way through. The ball looks like they're calling it. That's a free kick to Magro.
That was an interesting one because I don't think the Tiwi player actually went to tackle him. Magro sort of made the contact.
Yeah.
And it's judged to have gone high. So, yeah, that was an interesting one.
It's on the wrong side for a left footer. He just dollies it over the top.
He was in two minds then, Magro, wasn't he? He looked as though he didn't know whether to go out and do a little cheeky check side or kick the ball like a normal drop punt. So sort of rushed it a little bit too. He didn't sort of take his time over it.
And it was a high kick, which down that end in particular, but here at Gardens Oval is not always the best option. It can be quite breezy here and it does catch those high balls. As McAdam flies from the back for Tiwi. It's a free kick to Waratah, however. To Ross.
Yeah, he's been good, Ross. He certainly gives him a little bit of starch.
Part of their half-back brigade.
Yeah, he runs straight and hard at the football.
Goulden there kicks it forward. Stevens and Cadillac trying to work it out. In fact, it was McGrath and Cadillac. And Cadillac hits his forward on the chest, who was by himself again. It's disappointing to see that, but it does happen when you watch the Tiwi games. Just fail to man up when they need to in dangerous positions.
Yeah, it's Corey Rich again.
Let's see if he can do it for me this time, Haley.
He's driving me nuts walking back like that, I tell you. He'd be getting a rocket if I was the coach. He'd be copping one.
Keep an eye out for your mates who are leading in better position.
Exactly, especially.
And again.
Yeah. I'm not going to harp on it. I'm just going to let it go, Will. I'm just going to take 5 deep breaths and I'm just going to compose myself. I haven't got any walls and anything to punch, so I'm happy. All right, I've recovered, Will.
Now, man, Plugger there, kicking out from full-back. The other end of the ground to what he's used to, Josh Lean. He went to his man in Matthew Cantilla, who kicked it to a very dangerous spot, and I don't know about that kick, and he's coughed it up.
I think you mentioned it earlier in the game, Will, about the coach killer kick, that one.
Absolutely, yeah, and we saw it earlier. I think it was to Magro earlier. In fact, it might even have been to Carroll who's passed it off to Magro, and this time it's come to Carroll again, and he'll line up. He's been busy today, plenty of the ball. Not his standout game, but definitely one he can hold his head high in. He's kicked 2 today already. And he likes that one.
He's a pro, Carroll. The Bombers, they have been scoring okay. They've been hitting the scoreboard. Today's probably their lowest score. I think against Saints they even got past 5 goals, but which is a worry for them because up until today I thought that their scoring against districts wasn't too bad. They concede a lot, unfortunately, so they've probably got to find that balance between being a free-flowing footy side but also having more of a defensive mechanism where they can shut scores down, because if you're going to let sides get to 20 goals on you, you're going to have to score 21 to beat them. So, not saying full-on defence, but I'm saying they need to be more aware, I think, of some of the defensive aspects of the game. But these guys are all young; they're all just learning their trade and playing in a better competition than probably their own homegrown competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't write off today completely, Haley. Obviously, disappointing in terms of their tally, but 5 goals 10. If that's turned around and 10 goals 5, it's they're still behind the 8 ball, but it's not as bad as it could be. It's Tiwi running forward now, and it's Michael Dunn, but he's kicked it behind.
Yeah, Dunny's played a lot. Michael's played a lot of footy down the back half of the ground, but moved into the midfield this year. A bit more experience.
Gooch will resume play for Waratah, out from full-back. Couldn't find his man in Cadillac, and Harleypur and Tutameri crumbs it, but it'll be a free kick to the Tiwi player in Max Lower, who's also been okay today, hasn't been their worst player.
No, he's had a crack lower. I think some of these guys that they've brought in have certainly added a little bit of starch to their midfield. This guy here as well.
Jackson Fish has probably been the standout of them. There's a few, I believe, who's come over from Queensland, Haley, and yeah, still probably adjusting to the heat up here. It is nice weather over in Queensland, but it's a different beast up here in the wet season.
Well, I was coaching Nightcliff here against the Tiwis a few years ago, and Jackson Starcevic and Benny Clifton at half-time, I seriously thought I was going to lose them, like forever.
Yeah.
They were two boys from Melbourne, and they'd never played in anything like it. And I remember talking to Jackson, he's just staring at me like, you're kidding. What are we doing out here at 2 o'clock during the day? So it is extremely hot for the players from down south.
Would have been a good day for the ice sponges that day, but sometimes that doesn't even work, does it?
No.
Tiwi looking dangerous, trying to get something for their money's worth. But Waratah looking to exit a bit too easily. So it's Corey Rich at half back now. No one on the mark, so he'll play on. He'll run forward. He's got Brody Carroll out the back. He'll look to fly against Plugger, gets a fist through, ball comes to ground, and Puruntatameri Dunn crumbs it, gets the hands out to Dion Munkara. Dion Munkara slips, but manages to regain his feet, kicks it forward to McAdam, and Spence was strong in defence there. Tars look to work it out. Spence again with the ball, under hot pursuit from McAdam. Gets the ball to Collis, he throws on the boot, tries to get to his brother. David Cruz, Mully Cruz there, working it forward. Umpire pulls a free kick out of that one, and it will go the way of Tiwi.
Yeah, good decision.
Harley McCarthy now. He's gone the one sock up, one sock down. Gets it to Ericsson. Ericsson kicks it forward. O'Dwyer managed to get a spoil to it. Ball getting very close to the boundary line. And that's where it'll end up.
Yeah, some good energy there from the Tiwi players. Dave Cruz, nice hard attack on the football. And so he should. Mully Cruz has played a lot of footy. He's a Wanderers premiership player. And you expect him to go nice and hard at the ball.
Aidan McAdam there, I was impressed with his effort down on the back flank there.
There's plenty of positives for the Bombers today. It's not all gloom and doom, I wouldn't think.
Good smother there from the Tars defender in Wilkins. Munkara now with the ball over, throws it on the boot, kicks it forward, and Cantilla couldn't take the mark, but he'll crumb the ball. No, he won't. He'll slip over instead. Ross gets it out to Spence, and they've got numbers and space here. He kicks it out, overcooks it a bit too much. It's out of bounds on the full here on the wing, and it'll be Shane Ostrell kicking it back in. He plays on, it rolls onto his left. He's got a few men there to work with. And umpire Stark calls a free kick Tiwi's way for holding the man. And so they have come to life a bit more in this last quarter. Hey, they've kicked 2 goals already, lining up for their third through Lorenzo. It's been a bit quiet today. He's got the bright pink and blue boots on. Let's see if they can help him here.
A very casual approach, but he's kicked the goal. So will they continue to add to their score? So, as I said, it's not all gloom and doom for the Tiwis. I think there've been, passages of play where it's been quite good, quite sharp when they get that Tiwi style of football going and they get a little bit of flow. But I think Waratahs structurally have been able to, roll back and fill holes. And, when they've got midfielders that are quite prepared like Turnbull and these guys will push hard back into the half-back line and then they'll run forward again. So that makes it difficult for the Tiwis, and the Tiwis need to rely on that speed of the ball movement, to be beneficial for them. Once they start kicking long to contests, the game goes back into the way Waratahs want it played. Yeah,
absolutely. When they play Tiwi footy, they play very well. They're very threatening and they can be, very entertaining to watch. But when it's not going quite their way, it can all turn against them very quickly. As Wilkins has gotten the free kick, I think that might have been the 6-6-6 rule there. Gets it forward to Turnbull, not a great kick, and Tiwi looks like they will benefit from this the most. Gets it forward to Obon, he picks it up, he's in space, he runs outside of the centre square and does a quick short kick to Lorenzo, but couldn't take the mark. Puruntatameri Dunn in hot pursuit there. And Tars will manage to get it and work it out. Crocker ducks his head, Cantilla with the tackle. Umpire calls for my ball.
Well, very lucky the Tars player there. And I sort of thought that was probably holding the ball.
Purantatameri Dunn takes it cleanly, throws it on the boot, and there's no one forward for Tiwi. That's disappointing that there's not one forward there forward of about 30 metres when they're kicking.
Everyone got caught at the stoppage then.
All got sucked in as Tar's now looking to rebound. And Collis, it is on that far wing. Bit hard to work out exactly what's going on, Haley, in this sun behind us. But Waratah work it forward again, and it's Silva up in the contest. Magro will get the crumbs, throws on his boot from about 50 out, and there's a man on in the goal square. He takes the mark, gives it over, and Graham kicks the goal. Wasn't very convincing, but he's managed to get the 6 points. And again, just a bit of teamwork there, sharing the love, Waratah. They have had a few players kick multiple goals. Magro, I think, has kicked 4. Carroll's kicked 3. Jay McGrath's kicked 2. But they're more than happy to share the love when they can.
Yeah, I think the Tiwis have been much better in the contest, and there's no doubt about that. I think, especially around the stoppages, the set pieces, I think that they've competed a lot better than they have in a couple of the games I've seen them play this year. So it's a real tick and a positive thing for them. You can't go to stoppages like what happened there and just rest. You know, it's no use going to the stoppage and thinking you can just mingle in and hide. You've got to go there to work. And I think generally they've been all right.
Play underway again here. And Ericsson for Tiwi tries to work it out. Gets it in to lower. Only gets it as far as the Tars defender Inarata kicks across goal. Dangerous kick. Didn't hit his target. And Saltalamacchia coolly and calmly takes it over the line. Won't be penalised for that. We'll have a throw in.
They're a bit underrated, the old Tars back 6. I think they've done pretty well back there, this season so far. They've been hard to score against. Gooch leading the way there, the former captain and the leader of the pack in their back half. And obviously Ross very hard off his back flank and Crocker as well. So, they're underestimated. And with a good midfield, I'd love to see Waratahs maybe with one more key forward, possibly somebody that can be that, that tall player that they can go to in the tight, hard games where they can give somebody that can give them a contest and let Magro and these guys rove it. But generally, I think Waratah's got a pretty balanced team.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, they've got sort of Kitch and McGrath playing those two tall players today. Graham can play tall as well, but none of them have really taken a hold of that position so far this year. So interesting if it's one of them or if it's someone else who's yet to play for the club fills that role. But as you said, that back 6 very underrated, and we can't harp on enough about their midfield. It's very versatile. They can move forward and kick goals, or they can mix and match in the middle and just win the ball as much as they like.
Yeah, and it's really to keep the Tiwis to 6 goals, you've got to be doing something right. And it's getting now well and truly into junk time of this game, and the Tiwis are still on 6. So full credit to the Waratahs back 6.
Lorenzo with the kick on goal there for Tiwi. Missed everything. The ball is brought back into play. Not a great kick. He overkicked it to Collis. It's kicked over the top, and Ericsson couldn't take the mark. It's a good rove there from Terry Fernando. He kicks a goal, and it's 7 goals, 11 on the board for Tiwi. 47 trailing Waratah. 16 goals, 17, 113.
Tezza. Every side needs a Tezza, don't they?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Tezza Fernando just comes and snaps one late. Gets them back within, 11 goals?
It's a 60-point margin.
60 points. So 71 points at three-quarter time. Could have got really ugly, and to their credit, the Bombers have kept pushing, and it's not going to be a win, obviously, and it's going to be disappointing not to win the Morris Rioli Cup, but it's at least they've not been absolutely smashed.
And again, that 6-6-6 rule playing havoc with Tiwi, who just look to have dropped the ball a bit with their concentration. Gives Waratah a good opportunity forward, but they've wasted that. Kicked it straight down the throat of the Tiwi defender.
Matty Cantilla.
Now go across goal, and it's Cecil Purantatameri. Kicks it out, and he finds his man as well. Spence in front of the ball. He'll get the free kick.
Yeah, McAdam just sort of caught out of position there and gave away a free kick. Look, You know, as I said, the Bombers, Dion Munkara's been good. He's tried hard all day for them. Really impressed with Dulla. He's done well. Cantilla up forward drifts in and out and does pretty well. Matty Cantilla down back's been serviceable, the 21. And obviously with Waratahs, I think Magro's been excellent. Turnbull's played his part. Carroll's bobbed up and been consistent. The Collis boys have done well. Crocker off halfback, Ross. It's been a pretty solid Waratahs performance, really. Not outstanding by any stretch. They're probably about a 7.5 out of 10 for mine, but you can only play what's put in front of you, Will. And Waratahs will be happy to take the 4 points and the Morris Rioli Cup.
Absolutely, and I think important to note, Jordan Wilkins in the ruck, he's been pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how he goes when he comes up against some of the bigger names like Archard, the Darwin Buffaloes. He's a lump of a man and doesn't lose too many contests, but he's been very good today, albeit against not the biggest opposition in Auburn, and I've seen Plugger and Mully Cruz head into the middle as well, but Wilkins is a very important part of this Waratah outfit.
Yeah, and Kim Cantilla's going to kick another one here for the Bombers, so they continue to add a little bit of respectability to the scoreboard. So there's some stuff for the Bombers to work on, and they can take something away from this game and try to get the same guys to play again next week. And it's just going to take a little bit of time. I think that listening to Dean Rioli, they've got a great guy and a great football person in Dean as their president. Coach McAdam, James McAdam's played at the highest level. He knows what he wants. He's a senior sort of guy. He's 62 or 3, Will, but still does most of the training. And there's only 3 or 4 blokes in the club that can beat him in the running. So the coach is on the right track, and they've got plenty of upside and plenty of things to be happy about, the Bombers. So.
Next week, the Bombers have their first game on the Islands of the year. I think they're playing against the Wanderers. Unfortunately, don't have the Waratahs next opponent off the top of my head. But hopefully their first win isn't too far away for Tiwi. They'll be looking at that game for sure. Wanderers still pretty hard to read so far this year. Waratah, for me, they're one of the powerhouses and one of the favourites. And I think I don't think whoever they play next week will really change the way they go about it. They're just looking very good, very strong, and I think they'll just continue their push.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Waratahs up against Nightcliff or Saints in the next couple of weeks to just give them a little test of, little gauge as to where they're at against those two teams, because I think those two are the two standouts at the moment. Plus, I've been watching a bit of Waratahs, and I'm impressed with the way they go about it. Great to see them give young Silver a go, because I think that little bit of X factor up forward's what they need, and he does put chase and tackle pressure on as well.
Here's Jay McGrath looking for his third goal after the siren here at Gardens Oval. He walks in, he kicks it. It's a pretty good kick, but he's just hit the post. That will take Waratah's final score to 16 goals, 19, 115 against the Tiwi Bombers. 8 goals, 11, 59. It's an 8-goal and a 6-point margin, Haley, which I think is about 54 points.
Yep.
So, pretty convincing win for Waratah. They will take home the Morris Rioli Trophy for season 21-22. I'm Will Zwar. With me has been Damien Hale. Thank you for joining us. You've been watching AFL&T's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season. That's it from us from Gardens Oval. Thank you very much.